Rock 100.5 KATT. I am Cameron Buchholtz here with Morgan from Sevendust. What's going on, man?
Well, how are you? How are you doing over there?
Doing good, doing good. Just looking forward to the big rock show tomorrow night at the Diamond Ballroom. Sevendust going to be headlining with Treyu, and I think it's going to be a party.
Oh my God. Yeah, this thing is wearing me out. I'm
Yeah,
glad it's early. We love OKC, so it's like, let's get it on early before we're like withered up by the end of this thing.
yeah. It's a pretty lengthy tour you guys got, but there's a lot going on in the world of Sevendust right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. The record's coming out first.
Hmm.
And then we've been out on this for a little over a week. This goes for another almost month, and then a little break, and then we're out for another seven. So it's just like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're just getting rolling with this album cycle. But yeah, as you mentioned, the new record comes out on Friday one, which kind of tell me about the new record.
Well, I mean, we do records a little different. Each one seems to like have a different way, whether we're all going to get together, guys are going to pair off and that kind of deal. And this one was a little weird. It was like, me and Clint would get together, me, John, and LeJean would get together, then we'd all get together and, kind of put it together that way. And it was super cool because it was like, you kind of got your ideas sussed out, on your own, and then came in and the changes would be semi-minor. And we got really close. It was like not stepping on each other's toes too much. So, that was the title idea, was the
Hmm.
unity and the appreciation we have for the people that support us, and just being uh it's been a long ride for us. So it's like to
Yeah.
have this type of support for this long, and then to have it getting bigger like this, which, thanks to modern technology and TikTok and things like that, all of a sudden, you get a viral moment from a song that's 100 years old, and
Sure.
you look out and there's 20, 13 year olds that are crowd surfing at your show, and you're like, what is going on? So yeah, the process was great. The expectations were literally zero. We were just like, let's just do whatever we want to do and not really focus on too much of a direction or anything. Just kind of write songs and see where it lands. And it's crazy, you overthink it, and things could get a little sideways. This one we
Mhm.
didn't overthink it all, and it's doing well.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Three songs I think are out already, and then yeah, as we said, the full thing out on Friday. And you guys have, you talked about the lengthy road ahead of touring and whatnot. But one of the things I just saw, you guys got announced for the Creed tour next year, or Creed cruise rather next year.
Yeah, yeah,
Which you guys have always done lots of stuff with the Creed dudes and the Ultra Bridge
yeah.
dudes. Have you guys done a cruise before? I assume you've been on like Shiprocked or something like that before. But what's that experience like?
Yeah, we were like the Shiprock house band for a while. It was like every year we were on that thing, and it was,
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. They're all great. You get super close with the people, because you're right on top of each other, and there's no like tour bus to go to the next town.
sure.
So it's really cool. I mean, they're all great. The Creed one in particular was for sure my favorite.
Yeah.
It was just the way that they put that thing on, and it's just super pro. And obviously, I mean, we're friends with a lot of bands, but the
Hmm.
Creed guys and Alter Bridge, I mean, those are two of our closest people. I mean,
Hmm.
well, they're both basically the same band minus the singer and the
Hmm.
music, but um, the members are all, similar. So I mean, we just played with them the other night on a
Hmm.
one-off, and every time we see them, we did Europe with them. It was the best experience I've ever had. So I'm super excited about that. Anytime that we're doing anything with those guys, we're excited because it's just, those are our boys.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever saw Seven Dust was back on the Weathered tour in what 2003, 2004, whatever that was, which is sort of an infamous
Yeah.
tour, I think, at this point.
Oh God. So that whole tour probably cost us not only a lot of money, but a lot of really good experiences because people back then, it's a different world now. It's like heavy music back then was not what it is now. Um, so we kind of fell into this weird area where it was like we were able to play with Creed, kind of. and then we could go and play with Slipknot the next week, kind of. So it
Hmm.
was like we're not quite heavy enough for the Slipknot people, and we're definitely too heavy for the Creed people. So we were out with them, and I remember looking and seeing people like they're looking at us like horrified, like this is the
Yeah.
craziest, heaviest shit in the world. Excuse my language.
No, you're good.
Um, and then so we were like up to do the tour when they came back on this one. I
Hmm.
was like, we had just gotten done with Static X, and I'm like, love the guys in that band. Like, I mean, some of those guys are like my best friends on earth, but man, we just got through with this heavy tour. I feel like we're almost like being accepted back into the heavy world again. I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't want to have people looking at us like they hate us. Like, I don't want this because I just remembered the Weathered tour.
Sure.
So we didn't do it. And then it ended up being one of the biggest tours of the year.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, they were like, well, there's some shows opening up if you want to do a few. So we did, and they were massive, and everybody
Yeah.
was great, and it was like, this is not what it was back then. So we're not like too abrasive for their crowd anymore. It used to be that, but now it's like,
Yeah.
no, Seven Dust is cool, dude. And I'm like, oh God, I wish I would have done it. So, I was very vocal about it. Some of the guys in my band, I think, still, secretly do something to my food when I'm not looking
Yeah.
because they're pissed about it. But it was a mistake. It was a lesson learned, and we're excited to do anything with those guys moving forward for sure.
Nice. And now, you talk about now you feel like you fit in on maybe the, not lighter, but, because Creed is heavier than people probably think they are.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But
definitely.
now, when you go out on the heavier side, do you still sometimes feel like, oh, we're not quite heavy enough to be playing with such and such band, or is that gone away on that side as well?
Well, I mean, the thing is that there's like this middle ground of heaviness now where it can be anything from Breaking Ben or Disturbed, and bands, some of the bands that we grew up playing with, or um, but then you can get into some extreme side of things. Like I was talking to somebody and I was like, we played with some bands back in the day, and I was like, we were very tough on them, because it wasn't a thing of any talent or anything. It was just a style clash, where it's like if you got guys that are more aggressive and it's close enough, it's going to cause a problem. Well, so I said, yeah, we beat up on those bands. And then I'm like, but make no
Mhm.
mistake about it, go sit us in a room with Slaughter to Prevail or Lorna Shore. And it's like, we're
Mhm.
going to take it like an ass beating, it's just going to be rough.
Mhm.
So there's some of those places where, I've got some really close friends in those, super heavy bands. And they might like Seven Dust, but I'm like, you ain't getting me anywhere near those tours, dude. Like, I
Sure.
don't want any part of Lorna Shore. And literally, I'm like, the drummer is like my baby brother, and I would love to spend every day with him on tour. And I'm like, you ain't getting me on that tour with you,
Yeah.
dude. I'm not taking it like that. So yeah, there's still places where I'm like, let's just go ahead and, what is it like? Step Brothers, where he wants to take a different route home. I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
man, let's take the long way back to where we're going. I don't want to go down that street. I can't remember the guy's name, but he makes him lick dog crap or whatever. It's like,
Sure.
I don't want to go down that route. We're too old to be competing with those young bucks like that.
Sure. Well, I mean, even, you guys out with Atreyu right now,
They're tough. They're
15,
tough.
20, 15, 20 years ago, that tour wouldn't have made sense and probably wouldn't have happened.
Right. And they're tough, Fire from the Gods too, and American Adrenaline. I mean, we get up there and this is right there at the cusp where I'm like, man, like there's no like, take it easy tonight. You gotta go.
Hmm.
So they're very tough, man. They rip it on the crowds. So by the time we get up there, I'm like, anybody have any, like strength left? So, it's been a lot of fun. They definitely making us work for sure.
Awesome. And now, as we talked about, here in OKC tomorrow night at the Diamond Ballroom, I'm sure you played the Diamond Ballroom, 2 dozen
Many
times over
times.
the years at this
At
point. Yeah.
least.
Is
Yeah.
there anything that sticks out in your head about that room?
I mean, I love it's been there so long, the history is strong there. I mean, everybody's played it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
we've
it's
had
awesome to
great
see those
shows there.
headshots.
Yeah, it's crazy, I mean, I love places like that, that are legit venues that people love to go to, that have got history on them, that, some of the bands that, we brought up and they moved on to huge things, they all played there. They all went through there. So anybody that's anybody in my genre has definitely played it. And great people of OKC, and there's casinos there. So
Sure.
I always run into that part of the debauchery driven part of my life. Always gets a nice little stroke when I get in there. I mean, I came into Dallas yesterday and I was like, where's the nearest casino? They're
You got
like,
to go to
you'll be
Oklahoma.
there you'll be there in a few days, so relax. Like, so yeah, I'm excited to see everybody. We have a bunch of friends in that area, and we'll get to hang out with them, and great times. OKC is great.
Well, yeah, man. Well, appreciate you taking the time, and congrats on the new record, and stoked for the show tomorrow night.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks so much, man. We're looking forward to it for sure.